Hey everybody, this is Dave with the Bass Channel, and welcome back to another episode of Shorties, where today we're checking out the Grand from Serek. If you don't know what the Grand is, it is, how you say, a super hyper limited edition bass from Serek Basses. Basically, they make a very small batch of these. I think they only make something like 15 or 20 of these at a time. And you get an email if you're on the waiting list to get the opportunity to grab one as soon as it goes live on the website. And they typically sell out in about 10 minutes. So it's difficult to get your hands on one. This one has been graciously lent to us by Jenny Christian from Talk Bass, who is just a fan of the channel, and she has decided to lend us a couple basses. You might have seen the Chowny video that we recently shot. So besides the fact that it's super limited edition and kind of hard to get a hold of, and it's, I believe, terribly expensive, something on the order of $2,000 US, what do you need to know about this bass? Well, it's a pretty cool thing that is kind of unique. It's a short scale, right? Serek does a lot of full scale, medium scale. I don't know how often they make shorties, but the Grand is kind of their signature shorty. The controls are a little bit different on this one. Instead of your standard volume pot, tone pot, it's got one volume pot and it's got a three-way switch. The three-way switch goes, middle position is the tone all the way open. The bottom position is the tone all the way closed, so you get that woofy all bass all the time thing. And the upper position is it's a diode-based passive fuzz. That's the Skuzz in the Skuzz Serkit name. So with the Skuzz engaged, with the Skuzz fuzz, with that engaged, it is just a tiny bit quieter because it is passive and the signal is running through a pair of diodes, so it's going to bleed off just a little bit of volume, but it's not too bad a volume drop, and it sounds pretty cool. It's a very tight kind of breaking up kind of a fuzz sound. It doesn't sound like overdrive. It doesn't sound like a big muff. It's kind of a thing all unto itself. Now I'm going to go ahead and run through the specs because everybody loves this part, right? It is a 30.5 inch scale and it's got a 1 5/8 inch nut width. It's got a bone nut. It's got Hipshot hardware, Ultralite tuners, Hipshot bridge, but the pickup is super cool. It is a TV Jones Thunderblade, and it's pretty hot. When I've got it running at home, I'm running it through my Kemper with a VT bass profile, and it overdrives the thing at any setting. So yeah, it's a little bit hotter than some of my other passive basses, and I think it sounds pretty good. When it comes to what kind of wood the Grand is made of, well, I'm not sure about this one specifically. All I know is the neck is roasted maple. The other woods, well, I can guess, that the fingerboard looks somewhere between like Wenge and ebony, perhaps. But no idea about the body wood. It's very light. This thing weighs maybe 6.5, 7 pounds, maybe. And it just sounds good. It's got flat wound strings on it, so that kind of adds to the, oh, this sounds a little different than what we usually have. It's just kind of a flats era right now. Overall impressions of the bass, I really like it. I'm kind of jealous that it's very hard to get and it's very expensive, because I would like to have a bass like this in my arsenal just because it's so different, right? It's got the built-in fuzz. It's got a great, the Thunderblade TV Jones pickup just sounds really cool to me. And it's funny, when Jenny sent us this bass, she said, hey, I apologize if the action is too low. To which I'm filing that under not a problem. I really like low action. I don't smash the strings like Josh or Chris do. So yeah, it's good by me. I think it plays very comfortably. The fingerboard is a compound radius. It starts at 12-inch radius like a Gibson, but it goes up to a 14-inch radius. So it gets even flatter just by a little as you go up to the top fret. All the Grands have pretty much the same specs. Like I said, I'm not sure about the body wood, but all the different colorways that the Grand has come in. It's come in school bus yellow with orange-red racing stripes. It's come in black with gold racing stripes. This one is kind of a mint green with a pale pink racing stripe, which is kind of cool. There's pale pink polka dots in the pickguard, if you can't tell. And it just looks really cool. The finish feels really satiny, really thin. It's a nitro lacquer, but they spray it on really thin, and you can actually feel some texture still. It's not like a big, thick pool of nitro on top. Looks really nice, plays really nice, sounds good. I would love to try this with some rounds or some half rounds on it just to get a little bit more bite, but I think it sounds really good with the flats on it as they are. And yeah, so that's my impression of it. I know I sound like a used car salesman sometimes. One commenter said, because I do try to say, hey, this is good in this way, and this is good in this way. I like to try to be optimistic. There are some basses that I just haven't liked, but I think that just about every instrument there's something to like about. This one, what there is to like is all the things I would like about a lot of basses. I like the way it plays, I like the way it sounds, and I love the way it looks. What's not to like? Well, it's very limited edition, hard to get a hold of, and expensive if you can get a hold of it. So hopefully there's kind of a balance there. Yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and shut my pie hole and let you hear a little bit more of the bass, and I'll see you next time on Shorties. Take care.